Good evening, Pittsburgh sports fans. Welcome to the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Joining me are my co-host. Geez, okay, all right, off to a great start. Mac, Tracy, and Ed. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Good evening, fellas.
My fingers are tired from typing.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
All right, so
Well,
yeah, so I chose Ed actually to pick the topics for tonight, and as typical Ed fashion, I figured we'd have maybe like 3 or 4 per
You gotta
team.
warn me.
No, we've got like 68 total topics tonight, folks. So, we're going to try to cram this in an hour. Really, truthfully, we could go till probably 11 o'clock with a lot of this stuff, but I don't think we want to go 3 hours. So,
It's a 3 hour.
lots to talk about. We've got 2 weeks before the draft. I mean, it's crept up upon us, and it's practically here already. But we want to talk wide receiver. I know there's some talk about maybe drafting a number 3. Want to get into that. Also, trade ups. The potential for them to trade up is there. And I want to get your guys' take on some of these trade pieces. I know some things were thrown out there, or some guys were thrown out there. Want to get your take on that. And then the waiting game. Here we are. We talk about this every week. I'm sure we're going to talk about it every week until this guy actually signs. And who the hell knows when that's going to be. I think it's going to be soon. And I still believe that they probably, have a deal in place. They haven't just made it official or went public with it. But we want to talk about that. And then kind of caveat into that, talk about the McCarthy factor. And then Penguins, looks like they're going to be matched up against the Flyers in the first round. We saw this the last time they played them, a very physical game. So I think we might be in for a treat on this one. And then I want to talk about goaltending. Are you guys comfortable with the goaltending situation? That
No.
Well, no. I'm not asking you now. We're gonna get into this. So, and I want to ask. Jesus, it's like running preschool sometimes, folks. It's literally.
quit waving that catnip at him.
Yeah.
My turn to share. You said,
Oh man, I think somebody skipped their meds today. I think.
it just wore off.
But anyway, I want to get you guys' take on are you comfortable with the goaltending situation? And then I want to talk. I want to talk about some of these young guys and their contribution to the success this season. So we want to get into that. Also, big Pirates news: Connor Griffin obviously signing that deal, 9-year, $104 million deal. We want to talk about that. Roster ripple effects from that. Also, talk about Paul Skeens and can he repeat his year last year, winning the Cy Young? Can he do it again this year? A lot of people are picking him, as one of the front runners. We're gonna just kind of talk and see what he needs to do in order to do that. Also, the Triola injury. Get into that. Some guys are stepping up. Triola can't hit for what. So his defense is great, but we'll get into that. And also the Riverhounds unbeaten in the last 4 across all competitions. So we'll talk about that. All right. Without further ado, let's get into some Steeler topics. All right. Draft targets, guys. Let's talk wideouts. A lot of talk going on about them potentially going out and getting that number 3. There's some names that have been thrown out into that mix. You got guys like Omar Cooper Jr., Jordan Tyson. I've even heard guys like Carnell Tate as potentially being maybe having an interest or spiking an interest of the Steelers. I've heard even Mekhi Lemon as well. In Denzel Boston, just different guys. What do you guys think about maybe going first round wide out? I mean, stranger things have happened, but that could potentially happen. What do you guys think? Trace, I'm going to start with you. Your take.
I would dislike it, but if we're going after a wideout at 21, hopefully we have to spend some of the extra picks we have to move up somewhere. Hopefully we do that, maybe even trade a guy and get the guard or whatever else we're trying to find, lineman, and then get that wide receiver. That'd be great. But right now, I think that I don't know if the number wide receiver would be better than a lineman.
So you're not in favor of first round wideout. You'd rather see a lineman. I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with you.
Billy, if they trade up and they get something higher too, and they end up with like a Ty Simpson and then a wideout, like a wide receiver quarterback combo, I don't care. That'd be okay. Yeah. I'd go along with that.
Yeah. Robin Simmons chiming in. Mac is right. Sheloff sucks. Go Pens. Sheloff does suck. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Ed, what do you think? I mean, what do you think about their potential draft targets for wideout? I mean, who pops off the page to you?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for calling on me. I'm a first-time caller, and I love the show. So I just want to let you know that great show. But I think their target, if they're going to go wide out, they're going to go take the kid Mekhi Lemon because he's more of a slot receiver. So they need to use the receiver.
Biletnikoff Award winner, I might add.
Well, they're older receiver now. They have 2 30-year-olds, 30-plus wide receivers. So they need to get young. I like Mekhi Lemon.
What school, Eddie?
USC.
Thanks.
I'm inclined to go back to building the way that I would build a franchise, and it's from the inside out, same as Trace. So there's a ton of linemen, and I mean a ton of linemen. You could have Proctor there. You could have a couple other guys there. The Penn State guy is not going to be there.
If he's not going to be there.
If he's there, you run as fast as you can. You send 6 runners up there to get his name in because he's definitely that good. He's the best guard that I've seen in ages. But I'd rather build from the inside out. Mac doesn't like diva wide receivers, and I agree. So I'm going after probably the best product out there. I think Proctor will be there, and I think Proctor has the ability to play left, but I think they need to shore up that blind side. I would definitely go line. I would not go wide receiver. Wide receiver pick for the Steelers is a luxury pick, and they can't afford a luxury pick right now.
Yeah. Justin Peterson is chiming in. That would be foolish to take a wide out in the first round, go O-line and defense.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just been thrown out there that they potentially might, look at a number 3 wide out, in the first round. I don't know that that's going to happen necessarily, but it has been thrown out there. Mac, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah. We talked about this several times. I'm agreeing with both these guys. We have to go line, guard, tackle. You go pick the best available, either one, because you need both of them. I mean, to stay on topic with the receivers, there's a plethora, if you will, of slot receivers, big time, that are in this draft that I think you can get second and or third round. The Lemon Kid or Lamont or however you say it, Cooper. There's a bunch of them. I heard the Tate comment. He doesn't fit into that slot to me. I've heard that too, though, Bill. I heard you mention it earlier. I don't get it. There's plenty of guys that are smaller than that Tyson and the kid from Texas, A&M. Yeah. There's like 8 of them that are awesome.
Williams.
And you can get one of those guys, 2 or 3. So get your guard tackle and let's gamble and maybe second or third if you get a good deal.
Get your guard tackle and get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Trade up target. Jerry Dulac, interesting. He posed this, suggested that the Steelers might surprise fans by trading up for either a guard or a safety. For a safety rather than a guard or receiver. I mean, what do you guys think of that? Do you think that that's something that
Well, there's only 2 safeties that are worthy of a first-round pick. The kid out of Ohio State, obviously, and then the kid out of Thieneman out of Oregon. They're both excellent.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? We in a good position at safety? I think we're pretty deep there, right?
No, you have one safety and you have an ass clown. I mean, you finally went out and got an actual safety. You don't really. He's not a safety. He's an old corner, is what he is.
Who? Brisker?
No. Ramsey.
Well, we just got a new safety.
I said you have a safety, Brisker, and you
yeah,
have
then
another guy.
Thornhill too. He's on the team still. He was pretty decent.
Nah, nope,
Now this is where you show the side you don't understand anything about.
nope.
All right, go ahead, Billy.
I love it. No, keep that going. That's good for TV. Let's keep it going. By all means. I'm just I'm freaking Ed McMahon here. It's it's fine. So
I mean, they're great safeties. Either one of them is amazing. You go after if you get Caleb Downs. I mean, he's an amazing player, but you're gonna have to give up draft capital. So,
well, he is the best safety in the draft. I mean, there's no doubt. But you got bigger needs than that.
Right?
yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, granted, I agree with you that kid from OSU is great, but you don't need him. You need linemen, and you got to go get them.
Here's two things that I say with the linemen. Okay, number one, we still don't know about this Broderick Jones injury, this neck injury. This type of injury has ended guys' careers. I know,
I think his play is ending his career. Really.
And I was just going to say that my other point was his play isn't up to par either. You move him back to his natural position, and he's sucked. And I think that he's, with this injury now, and I think with his progress and what he's done on the field, geez, I think this guy's a bust. And I think you definitely need to go out and if Rodgers is going to be the quarterback, which, kind of everything points to it, you're going to need somebody to protect his backside. And it's that should be number one priority, not a flipping wide receiver. Justin, getting Homey from Oregon at safety in the first or second would be better than getting a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can address a number three, obviously, honestly, in free agency. I think there's still some wideouts out, the decent number threes out that you can address if you want to go that route. I don't really think that you need to try to address your number three wideout position in the draft. That's just me, though. Let's talk about trade pieces, guys. It's been brought up, potential trade pieces. If they, in fact, well, first of all, before I get into that, do you guys think that they could potentially move up? Tracy, I want to ask you first.
Yes,
okay.
I do. With the amount of draft capital they have and some of the different players they have, they can move up.
Okay.
The potential is there.
Right. I agree. I agree.
Sorry,
I agree.
that wasn't the question. Will they move up? Was the question? Was it?
Yes, they will move up. But what will they go after? Will it be the lineman that we want, or is it something else? The safety? I don't know. That sounds wild, but wide receiver? I don't know.
Ed, what do you think? Think they're going to move up?
I think if they're moving up, there's two players that are worthy for moving up at a position of need for them, and that would be the kid ENA out of Penn State, the guard. And they do need a safety because Ramsey's terrible. So if they go and get Caleb Downs or ENA from Penn State, I think it's worthy of moving up.
Yeah. Mac?
I'll agree with the kid from Penn State. I'm staying off of that garbage we're talking on the safety. That's bologna, okay? You want to go up and get a tackle and a guard and trade up for two of those guys? Your comment, Ed, with the inside out, I don't know why we're going safety. But anyway, let's stay inside. Let's go guard and tackle. Let's bump up. I'm okay with that. Let's do it, guys.
It's Bologna's.
But the safety, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I brought that up is because Jerry Dulac suggested it. And Jerry Dulac usually is one of the insiders in the Steelers locker room. There's a guy that they leak information to. I believe if you go up after the guard from Penn State because you have to have a guard. And
that would be one. That would be one guy I would move up for. I got to be honest with you. That would probably be the only guy I would move up for, honestly.
And I bet that guy could play left tackle too.
Yeah, exactly. I bet he could.
Yeah.
I think the whole
that dude and
again, Trace,
that he went to Penn, being that we all would go with that guy, and he was from Penn State. There's something about it. It's just like the shortstop the Pirates got and signed, right? Just sometimes there's those studs that they stand out for your organization. That guy is it.
Why don't we do that? We'll take the whole Penn State team and take Drew Aller in the third round. I mean, what are we talking about, boys?
Woo! Now
it's Bologna. It's Bologna. I agree.
It is called breaking news from Dr. Mac. He has got some predictions, folks.
All right,
big guy.
So we're all in agreement that they could potentially move up. All right, so the potential trade pieces, you're looking at Alex Highsmith, obviously an edge rusher. You got Nick Herbig developing. Could they trade Highsmith? You'd save roughly $8 million potentially, and you probably would have a mid-round pick in return if you did that. The other one is Patrick Queen. He's entering the final year of his deal. He's probably a candidate to be moved if particularly if you find you hit on a linebacker in the draft. Mason Rudolph is another one. If the Steelers draft a quarterback, Rudolph becomes basically expendable at that point in time, likely for a late round pick. When you look at it, you get 12 picks, including 3 third-rounders, which could be packaged to move up. You could package that deal with third-rounders to move up. I don't know. You could be – I mean, they're speculating – if they do move up, they're speculating to be looking at a top 15 to 20 pick, and potentially with a trade with Dallas or Miami, who would be sitting in those spots. I don't know. It's I don't know. Even does Omar Khan think that he may have his next quarterback too? That's another thing. Are you thinking about maybe potentially, trading, some of your picks and even some of your 27 picks maybe to secure a future quarterback? I don't know. I mean, that's I want to put it.
That guy's there.
I'm not either, but we don't know what they're thinking. That's my whole thing. I don't know what they're thinking, what they're seeing. If you move up, you could you could get a lot more done, I think, than where you're sitting at right now. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. Any of those guys that I mentioned, any of them that you disagree with, or Mac, let's say you first.
I'll jump in. Sure. You got to keep Mason Rudolph. You got a guy that you're bringing in that's 48, I think he is now. Anyway, you got to have a solid guy that can play 4 or 5 games. You can't trade Rudolph. In reference to the Roman Wilson, is he worth anything? I mean, who knows, right? You can't trade him. Patrick Queen, I know people
Roman Wilson. I didn't mention Roman Wilson.
I'm sorry. It was in
Ed was talking about that before because he was on the, anyway.
Yeah.
So in reference to Highsmith is a guy you market. You could get some bang for buck for him, and I would offer him up. Yes.
Well, and he's had some injury issues, though. He's had some Alex. He's had some injury issues.
Well, he has some star power too, and I think he
he's
get a
had
little
some
bang
groin
for buck for him.
He's had groin issues. He's had groin issues the last couple of years. So I don't know. Patrick Queen, I think that would be a no-brainer. He's in the final year of his deal, anyways. They're not gonna, re-sign him. You might as well get something for him if you're able to.
So really, what I think is going to happen, and thanks for calling on me, Bill. I love you. I think that they're going to trade their pick number 21 and TJ Watt to the Jets for the 2nd overall pick, and they're going to go for Arvell Reese from Ohio State to shore up the defensive line. Wow.
I mean, hey, we've all talked about it. The production for Watt has fallen off dramatically. Trace, what do you think, man?
I think it'd be crazy, and I'd be all for that if we were able to pull a move like Eddie just said there. But I don't know why we have to go the whole way up to number 2 to get somebody. But if that's what it takes, I'm in.
Well, the way the draft is, after number 1, it's like the Wild Wild West, right? Because there's only one guy that's going first, and by the way, he's not even going to the draft, but he's the guy that's going first. And then it's literally the Wild Wild West after that. I mean, the Jets have 2 number 1s. I'd look to the Jets and maybe even the Cowboys. Try to get the Cowboys 12 overall pick. 21 for 12, and if you go to the Cowboys, that's when I throw in Highsmith, right? I just think that those are the teams you should target, the ones with the double picks.
What you said, what was the name you threw out there, Eddie?
Arvell Reese from Ohio State.
Okay.
Edge rusher. Probably.
yeah.
I mean,
I know what you're saying now.
he's good, man. He's really, really good. And they need youth. They need youth more than anything on that line.
Well, I don't disagree with what Billy and Mac were saying about Herbig. I think he can hold it down, but I like that Highsmith was a little bit bigger for setting the edge. That's about it.
Yeah. But, I mean, you want to get better real quickly, you trade people.
Yeah.
You have to get better
Take
quickly.
it up, right?
And I hate to say this, and I'm not. This isn't like a knock on TJ Watt, but I could see the Jets being dumb enough to take that. I just, I mean, his production's down. Oh yeah, we'll take him. I could just see them making.
I could see the Cowboys giving up the 12th pick for the 21st in Highsmith.
Right.
Pair him with on Gary.
Right. Yeah.
I really could. I think.
I mean, I really like this Olivega.
ENA,
I can't. Yeah. I mean, I really like him. Yeah.
He's our guy, I think. But
I mean, I would move mountains to get this guy. I really would, because I think you would have. I mean, this guy 6'4", 330 pound, allowed 0 sacks last year. 0.
That's your anchor.
Yeah, right.
He also played that role that Silverback plays in 49ers. He played that role where he came as tight end and just, I mean, absolutely destroyed defensive tackles to open holes up. I mean, I'd move heaven and earth to get him as well.
Well, he's an elite pass
you
blocker.
have to give anything for that. I'm not sure you got to give anything for that elite
he's not
guy.
He's not going to be there. You think he's going to be there? I don't think he will.
Again, I'm not so sure he wouldn't. I mean, I don't think you got to give up a lot to go up much. Maybe 15.
He'll be gone.
18, maybe.
Edward.
Couple picks.
Edward.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, I didn't mean to cut you off. The first 20 picks, who's looking for a left guard?
I know the Chiefs are. I know the Buccaneers.
That's who we might have to trade with then, right?
Chiefs, Buccaneers. I know that if Cleveland had a brain, they would be looking for him, but they don't have a brain.
What do you think? That's like 10 or 11, isn't it, Mac? You think that's a trade up worth getting that left guard for?
I mean, if you could get that done, yeah, sure. I mean,
you got 12.
I like going and doing that. I mean, if you're going to go up and get a guy, you can get that kid from Miami though, that tackle,
Malaga,
Louis or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the best lineman in the game.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, I do like the kid from Penn State too, but
I mean, you need a left tackle and a left guard.
go get both of them.
Well, I mean, I look at this guy. I mean, he had a 0 sacks allowed last year. I mean, this guy's got football IQ. He's got the massive frame. He's got the athleticism. He can play both left and right guard. I agree with Ed. You could probably move him to tackle. I think he could probably play tackle if you needed him to. And I think he would be a plug and play starter. With
He's a damn there.
Yeah, he's got all pro upside in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, the Chiefs are number 9 and 29 overall, which means they'd be willing to throw 29 or number 9 away to get 2-3 picks, an additional guy, and then still have their 29th overall. That'd be sitting pretty, huh?
Well, they'd be 21 and 29. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to get either one of those guys, then they could just sit where they're at and get Fano from Utah.
Sure, or Proctor from Alabama.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep. There's a bunch of
There's some guys, right? There's some dogs.
guys.
It's very deep on the line this year.
Yeah.
Especially in the first round between mostly tackles. But
I give away a few of those picks and get those two. I get a guard and a tackle right out of the gate.
I'm with Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
I'm
other
with
thing.
you.
The problem is they have $30 million, right? They need 15.8 for this draft class. We're using 14.2. If you're able to clear Watt's salary, you're doing wonderful things. You can clear that salary. It's $42 million on the books. You can clear that salary, you're doing good things. You are. That just opens everything up. I mean, you need money for the quarterback. I mean, Rodgers. Otherwise, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go into those contracts for all those old guys, and you're going to kick them down the road again. And now you're
guess
eating away at the
Guess I'm taking Highsmith back off the market.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. I mean, if you had to choose between Highsmith or Watt,
it's no question it's Watt. He's 42 million.
It's no question it's Watt. I mean, exactly.
Because it's money.
It's not even. It's not even the money. Number one, the money number one, but the production is not there anymore. And you really can't say that about Highsmith. I mean, he's slipped a little bit, but not drastically like Watt has.
I once met this guy who said they shouldn't have signed him when he was 27 to a second contract. He did. He campaigned on it over and over and over again. Said he's not worth it. And guess who was right in the end?
Yeah,
the guy in the upper right-hand corner, depending on how you're looking at the screen.
Yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch. Look down, Mac.
Here's a story.
Look up. It's oh my God, that's hilarious. Jesus. Oh my God. What the hell did I start, huh?
I know.
All right, let's talk about.
Hey Ed, like that, right? Hey Ed, am I looking at him? No, the other way, this way.
Right.
Hey,
That way, yeah, that way. There you go.
That's hilarious.
There you go.
Don't start
See, it's easy with Mac and Ed. They just have to look. One has to look down, one has to look up. So there you go. You know, it's easy with them. Then they can pretty much figure out which one. But I agree with your. You know, see, am I looking the right way?
Nope. Other way.
Other way. Shit. See, that's
just go opposite.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got
I
it.
tried to do opposite. It was the opposite of the opposite.
Who's on first, gentlemen? Who's on first?
Yeah. Woo!
Not there yet.
All right, let's talk about the subject that we talk about every week, guys. I mean, we should be used to it by now, and you know, let's talk about the waiting game. You know, a lot of people are out there throwing the word hostage, including Skip Bayless. Now, Skip Bayless, I think, is a blooming jackass. I think he's one of the biggest jackasses in sports. He's right up there. So I don't really take anything he says with a grain of salt. But you know, this is getting old. You know, retirement or return. What are you doing? You know, here's the thing. You're kind of handcuffing the Steelers. You're preventing them from pursuing other long-term options, and you know, it's also hindering your roster. And what you can potentially, what you can develop and what you can't develop, So, I mean, we're in a holding pattern again here. I don't know. I heard Charlie Batch the other day on Steeler Nation Radio. He suggested that the delay could be like contract related, but, you can't let this guy hold you down and hold you hostage. What do you look at? Who do you consider? At this point in time, you've let a lot of these quarterbacks that could potentially come in and in play. I.e. Malik Willis, Kirk Cousins. Those guys are already signed. What are you going to consider at this point? Will Levis? I don't know. Mike McCarthy has maintained that he's kept up regular communication with Rodgers, and if that's the case, if you have no intention of coming back, why would you keep communication open with somebody who has no intention of coming back? That's what I really look at when I read that headline. Oh, he's maintaining regular communication. Well, if he has indicated that he may retire, why the hell would you keep regular communication open? I just don't think that's. I think he's definitely. I think he's going to come back, but I just think that this is taken. What do you gain by doing this? Is my question. McCarthy also said that they have contingency plans in place regardless of his final decision. Well, I mean. Again, why are you talking to him? Why So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me, what do you think? I mean, we talk about this every week. It's like a broken record, but we got to address it. It's a thing.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, Ed. You start us off.
My theory is that after doing my research today with Dr. Mack at the office, only on our break, we only had one today, we looked at the opening of the draft in Green Bay, right? As a draft opened in Green Bay, they had a montage to the old Green Bay, 100 years of football in Green Bay. So they're going to do the same montage in Pittsburgh, right? An ode to the Steelers. They're going to show the Immaculate Deception. They're going to show all that stuff. They're going to show the 6 Super Bowls. And they're going to say something like, now the old Steelers, and we're going to bring you back, some sort of transition to the new Steelers. And it's going to be led out by Aaron Rodgers, followed by Hayward, Watt, and all that other stuff. That's what they're going to do. And then you'll know he's back, even though they do have a mini camp next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before the draft. But that's my guess.
Yeah, in which he's not there, and he's missing time with Michael Pittman. This is the issues I have. This is the issues I have with this whole thing. Lamar Jackson's working out right now with the Ravens. Other quarterbacks are. This is the problem I have with this, and this is the problem. And you know what? I'll take it a step further. I have a problem with the way the Steelers are handling this as well, because they're they are essentially being held hostage by him, and I don't know. I don't know why you're doing this. So, Mac, what's your take, buddy?
Yeah, well, as Ed said, me and him talked about this, and it's their only play. This draft's in your town. They got to make this the biggest circus they can ever create, and that's the only way to create excitement and to bring fan base to your team. They have to do this. There's no other way that they can.
Tell them about your horse.
Yeah, put them on a Clydesdale. I said, put them on a Clydesdale. Bring them out and make this thing the nuttiest spectacle you can ever imagine. Make it a circus. Bring jugglers out. I don't care. You do what you need to do, but that's the only thing that they can do is announce this during the draft, open and kick it off, and he'll say he's back. I think that they're going to do something like that, and if they don't, they're really dumber than I think they are.
Maybe they should bring him out on Clydesdale and dress him up as Lord Cornwall.
I'm okay with this.
Okay. Tracy.
Lord Cornwallis would be even funnier to see him.
Lord Cornwallis is what I meant. I said Cornwall.
That's all right. I knew what you meant.
I know. Yeah, you guys knew it.
Well, Cornwallis, he lost. That's why. That's all right. He was never
got his ass kicked. Yeah,
he was smug, and he got
stone cold stunned by George Washington. But go ahead. What do you think?
I think that it's a show. It's all dog and pony show. I'm pretty sure he's coming back. Otherwise, Mike McCarthy would be like, "Yeah, we're going after this or that or whatever." More speculation coming out. So I think that it's him. And with that, that's why I'm leaning towards the lineman, and I'm ready to go.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that – because here's the thing. Last year, Tomlin said, we knew all along that he was coming back. He said that, he said that later in the season when he was interviewed. Do you think that this is this kind of scenario that they know basically he's coming back? It's just they're saving this to, like you said, to make this into a spectacle, to do something – to kind of, do you think that could be potential, guys? That's potentially what they're doing here. I think it is. I really think it is.
100% has to be, because if it doesn't happen that way, they're
screwed.
Bad. Well, they're screwed. Bad as a franchise. They looked inept. If they didn't do that, they will look inept and just rudderless, right?
Right.
I mean,
it's like having a play, right? And you're having the opening night of the play, and your star character is sick, right? And they're saying, I can still do it. And then at the when curtain calls coming, they're not there. Like this is they're going to be screwed if he doesn't come back. Basically, at this point in time, I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to scramble to try to, who are you going to scramble to go out there and get? Like I said, Will Levis? Who are you gonna go out and get? We
all agree, Bill, that the franchise is going to look, and I agree wholly with Led. They'll look inept. They'll look dumb. They'll look foolish. But let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers would tarnish his image If he did all this pony dog show, whatever we're calling this, and go up and literally screw this franchise, that would be on his legacy for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot to lose with this. It's not just the Steelers. So I think he's definitely coming back. I think this is all like a puppet show. I don't think it's a smart one, but they both got something to lose.
I don't see the need for it. That's my thing. I don't see the need for it unless you're just trying to save this until the draft. And then, hey, he's been here all along, guys. Maybe they should have Ashton Kutcher come out and hey, you've been punked. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah,
not very smart, Bill.
Yeah. All right, let's talk real quick caveat, and then we'll move on to the Penguins. The McCarthy factor. I mean, obviously, 13 seasons together in Green Bay, winning a Super Bowl, 2 MVPs he had. What do you think? I mean, isn't this a big play here? Isn't this isn't this probably a firm commitment that he's coming back just by the McCarthy factor? Dad, let's start you off.
Billy,
Tracy's audio only.
Billy, it has to be that way because,
and he doesn't even have audio right now.
No, it has to be,
or video.
Right, McCarthy has to be, he has to be planning on this. Otherwise, again, they look like just one of the absolute most inept franchises in the history of NFL. If you're doing this, and Mac, your point was great. Actually, I didn't even think about that. That this will absolutely tarnish his entrance to the Hall of Fame. It'll be all that stuff.
I agree. That's a good point, Mac. That's a very good point. That's a point that I think a lot of people have overlooked, including myself. That is true. If he screws them over like this, that's not something that you're gonna bounce back from, or.
And that's what I mean. He's recognized right now as some people say top 5 of all time. He's definitely a top 10 of all time. You keep doing things like this. And the way he went out with the Jets, and then the interception, and at the end of the game with the Steelers, and then you screw the franchise. You're putting yourself out there, man. You really are.
Right. You're tarnishing your image.
Yeah.
Bad. Bad. At towards the end of your career too.
Yeah.
That's the wrong. That's
That'll
the wrong.
Be the last thing he ever does.
That's the wrong. Yeah. That's the worst time to do it. At the end of your career, tarnishing your image. Steelers team president Art Rooney comes out and he stated he expects a definitive answer from Rodgers before the draft on April 23. How about instead of expecting, how about demanding, Art? How about that? How about for once put your big boy pants on and say, hey, we demand an answer by draft, period. How about not expecting? How about demanding? How about that for once, Art?
Totally.
Jeez, a whiz. I shouldn't have to have these conversations, really. I mean, no doubt. Greg Biro, no doubt that was key for him that is going to come back. I'm sure Rodgers come back. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree, Greg.
I agree, Gregory. Hi, Greg.
Yeah. Hi, Greg.
And then you got,
and then Al on the prowl. It's him in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He keeps going.
Yeah, he keeps going.
So we move forward from that. Then they're going after a lineman, and Ed said that there's
sure doesn't sit well with the other players on the team.
Yeah,
I don't know that it. I don't know. I don't know that it does. I don't know that it doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
The deal.
Yeah, unless they all know that that he's coming back,
because they haven't said crap.
Yeah,
they haven't come out in any media and said anything about him. That's a great point, Trace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello,
Greg
Vero.
Hello.
Great job, Matt. Great job, buddy.
You.
Yeah.
Billy, look what you started.
Yeah, Billy did it.
Billy did it. He broke the table. I didn't break the table. He broke the table.
All right, let's move on to the Penguins here, guys. We're nearing the last couple games here. And I was looking at today, Penguins have a 99% chance of making the playoffs. So that's pretty high. You basically clinch it tomorrow night. when when they go against the Devils. Devils are a terrible team on the road. They should be able to. I mean, you should be able to clinch it tomorrow night. Hopefully they do. Three Stooges reference is always a good thing. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And Greg says he wanted to listen before he headed out. Thanks, Greg. We appreciate it, my man.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking if they in fact do play the Flyers, guys. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I mean, over the years, how many times have we had, these great battles with the Flyers? I mean, I go back to senior year in high school when they it was the 4 overtime Wayne Primo scored. God, that just broke my heart. But 2009 when we had the fight, Aaron Asham knocking him out, and doing the whole, I mean, Max Talbot with the I mean, there's just been so many battles with this team. 2018, Jake Gensel, he just literally took that series on his back and just, big game Jake, man. He just got just scored every which way on the Flyers back then. And just, but what do you guys think facing this team opening round? I said it in the opening segment, the last game was very physical. It was a home game and it was very physical. A lot of fights, a lot of big hits. Just a lot looked like there was just a lot of. It almost kind of looked because for a few years it was kind of not. I don't know. The rivalry just didn't have its luster.
Well,
and yeah, exactly. But now it's just kind of like. I don't know. It's kind of back, and you can kind of feel it. In the times that they face them in the regular season, you can kind of feel it. What do you guys think, Trace? I want to start with you.
I think it'd be very exciting. I cannot wait. I want to see what Mac thinks since he watches more of it more often live and everything else. But I like how the team's jiving.
Me,
I like the physicality they bring. I think it's gonna be a great series. I can't wait.
Down there every game. I haven't missed the freaking game yet.
What do you mean?
I'll say this in reference to the game. If they match up against the Flyers, it's like old style rock'em sock'em, robot. Yeah. I mean, it really will be physical. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this. I don't ask for anything for Christmas, but this spring Christmas, let me please beat Philadelphia. That would be the greatest thing on the planet. Ed, please tell me.
Well, I think it's a dream matchup for the NHL. Period. You get the Penguins back in the playoffs after their absence, and you get an upstart Philly team, a young Philly team, hungry in the playoffs after they've been out for ages.
Oh,
yeah. And here's the thing, it's going to be a physical and emotional series, but this could potentially be the final postseason showdown for Crosby, Malkin, and Letang against the Flyers, in that era. So I don't know. One of the best rivalries in sports. I've said it before. I can remember Sydney years ago. He said, "I don't like them." What do you mean? I don't like them. He's like, I don't like them. Intense dislike between the teams and cities. We know this. Our network that we're on is Philly guys, so they we know this. Viewership too, and I agree. This brings in the viewers. I think the Flyers are ahead of their rebuild with mediocre goaltending. The Pen should win in 5 or 6 games. They need to stay healthy throughout the series. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I think they could win it in 5. I think they could do it.
Well, goaltending the issue, is it not? And they don't have the hot goaltender, so hopefully they can do it in 5.
All comes down to goaltending.
Yeah, that's it. All comes down to goaltending. I mean, Stuart Skinner's been to 2 finals. The guy has experience, no doubt about it. But
I think he's the guy you put in net, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would not trust Sheloft. Mac, you know that, right? We would not trust Sheloft.
Oh, God, don't get me started. But, I mean, I know he has an issue, something he's dealing with his eye or something.
He got nailed in the eye by a buck, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he'll be healthy by the time the playoffs start. So, if you have to coast in, so be it. Skinner's your guy. You got to play him.
Here's the other thing.
No brainer.
Here's the other thing. You think they should have called up Miroshov at some point in time this year?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I've been saying this. Like, why did they call him up in February, and at least get him a little bit of NHL experience? I mean, who knows? He could have easily taken the job from Sheloff's. I mean, I don't understand why he wasn't called up. If he's as good as you say he is,
you wouldn't be sitting here if they called you up. I mean, you would have took Siloff's spot. But I mean, you're right. Miroshov should have got called up. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, they talked about it like as latest as like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I think it's too late, guys, to do that now. Like, why weren't you thinking of this in the end of January, early February? Why weren't you thinking of it? I mean, I don't know. I thought that was out of everything that Dan Muse has done. I think he's done a lot of good. I was very skeptical of the hire. I think he's been tremendous. I think he's been a tremendous coach, but I just don't understand why they wouldn't have called Miroshov up. I don't understand why. I mean, you've got potentially a gem in the minors, and you're kind of just I don't know. You need good goaltending right now, because I think really they can make a deep run if they had good goaltending, and I think that it's decent. It's better than what it's been. It's better than freaking Jari and Louis Domingue like we had a few years ago. I think
and you're right, Bill. To have Miroshov learn underneath a veteran like him would have been, I think, pretty productive. I mean, and it would have helped him come along. So I'm with you, man.
Yeah. All right. So the teams have met 7 times in the playoffs, with the Penguins winning 3 of 4 in the Crosby era, including their last meeting in 2018. Like I said, that 2018, that was all Jake Ensel. Man, he was. I think in that series he had 5 goals. If I'm mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had 5 goals in that series. I can remember. I think one of the games he had a hat trick, but I mean, like I said, the Penguins have an overall 99% chance to make the playoffs, with their magic number down to 2 points with 4 games remaining. So, like I said, they're going to make it. I think they can. Like I said, they clinch it tomorrow with a win over Jersey. Let's talk about the Flyers. A dream season. They've despite a dream season for the Penguins, I would say the Flyers have kind of staged a significant late season surge. I mean, they went 14-6-1 since the Olympic break to move into 3rd place in the division. Pretty, and I tell you what, say what you want to say, but Rick Tocchet, I think, has done a hell of a job with that team. And this is he's done a good job. Crucial time, and the series could be the final time we see Crosby, Malkin, and Crystal Tang in a postseason together. I think that just raises the temperature on this potential matchup. So,
no doubt.
All right, let's talk goaltending.
Hey, by the way, hey, before you jump over, Bill, let's recognize you spit hat tricks with Jake. Let's not forget Malkin had his 15th hat trick the other. Unbelievable, age 39. How about that, gentlemen?
Right. He's been good.
Too old, but his hands are really big.
Yeah.
But it is his 15th hat.
I trace that. I know that's a dig. I know that's a dig at someone, but I'm with you. I'm with you, Trace. I'm with you, Trace.
You know who had a hat trick too? Ovechkin. Okay, wow.
Yeah. Well, who cares? He says he's won 1 cup his entire career.
Wow.
Who cares?
Wow.
Who cares?
Wow.
All right.
That was a big spoon that I just.
Yeah.
Third.
Ovechkin, the LeBron James of hockey. So, all right. Stat patter. He's the quintessential stat patter. So doesn't give a shit about winning a championship. Just a stat patter.
Put on the line and just wait for the puck.
I feel like Ratatouille over here.
Yeah.
So Stuart Skinner, who was has this eye injury. You know, I don't know. I mean, what's his status at this time for the playoffs? Does anybody know?
Cyclops.
Let me see.
It's closed. I don't know if you've seen his eye. It was closed.
It looked like Mike Tyson Punch Out, Little Mac. Remember when you fight in between the things, Little Mac's eye would be like this, you know. So, I mean, here's the thing: you've had Sheloff has, you know, if you have to go with him in the playoffs. Okay, he said he's supposed to start tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thank God. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
So if we don't like him, why wouldn't they have let Meshuggah take that spot then and try him out before we get to the playoffs then? Like, if they didn't do it back then, why not do it now? Why not try it once?
Who? Mearshoff?
Sure, that guy.
I mean, I don't think you can do it now, Trace. I don't think you can bring him up now.
Why?
I mean, that's just not.
I don't think Philadelphia's going to catch us. Does it really matter when we secure the playoffs? Or if we secure the playoffs, why not bring him up?
Well, you only have a few games left. I mean,
well, that's what I mean.
My thing is, you should have. I mean, in order for him to really get a taste of the NHL, he needed to have. You needed to bring him up in like end of January and have him have at least 7 or 8 starts under his belt just to get an idea where he's at. I mean, I don't think 1 or 2 starts or 1 start at this point. I mean, you've got 3 games left. I mean, how are you going to, you know what I mean? Like it's too late now. And I don't even think
that's bad planning either way, right? Because like what happens
right.
if goalies went down either way? You had a third guy.
Well, what you've seen of Sheloff's this year should have given you enough of saying, well, he struggled with consistency. Maybe we need to go to the other option, you know. And I agree with what Al and the Proud just put. Playoffs are all about goalies. Goalies can get hot. Goalies can get cold. You're right. It's all about good goaltending. If you don't have good goaltending, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter if you've got prolific goal scorers. You know, playoffs are a new season. Couldn't agree more, Al and the Proud. You're preaching to the choir on that one. You know, I mean, it's all about goaltending. And I, you know, you did get out and you got Stuart Skinner, which I was happy they did. You got rid of Jari, who has been an absolute joke. I mean, let's face it, he's been a joke. You know, he's you know, he's. I mean, I know I say this all the time, and you guys hear me say this all the time. The guy single-handedly cost you the series in 2021 against the Islanders. He's been terrible. He's and you think the Edmonton Oilers are happy about that deal? He's been terrible for them. But at any rate, you know, Sheloff's, you know, he's dipped below the 890 in the final weeks of the regular season, save percentage wise. Not good. Not a good situation. You know, I don't know.
High glove hand seems to work against him pretty good.
Yeah.
Ain't going to go far without a hot goalie.
Can't go far without a hot goalie. You would know because you guys had a hot goalie one time in the last 75 years.
Ooh.
What do you guys think about the defense and playing in front of these goaltenders? I mean, do you think that have they offered more help? I think this year, I think they have. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't even think it's a question. I mean, no offense, Bill, but the defense is heads and tails better. You know, they didn't like playing in front of your boy. I know you loved him, but you know, they actually do like playing in front of Skinner, and they play decent in front of Siloffs too. You know, even though I'm not a fan, but
yeah, perfect. I mean, this is great. Alan Proud.
Yep.
Ray Bork was arguably one of the best defensemen in the game. Did not have a great goalie. Exactly. Had to go to Colorado to play with Patrick Waugh to win one. Exactly. He would have never won one had he not went to Colorado. Never. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Great comment there, Al, on the Prowl. All right, let's. We were going to talk young talent. Let's save that for next week. let's talk Pirates. I mean, we need to talk some Pirates here. Connor Griffin, 9-year, $140 million contract extension for the 19-year-old. Monumental franchise-altering move, I would say, guys. Locke's a potential guy for a long time. A lot of people saying that it's a smart move given the Pirates' cost. This guy could have superstar potential. Nathan was rated as the number one prospect in baseball. Has the elite speed, the power, and the defensive skills. Funny today, I worked that game down there today at the PNC Park. Funny they didn't have him in the lineup. I think with everything going on with the signing, with his family being there, friends and everything like that. I mean, he did get in late in the game. I think he came in the 7th inning, but I didn't. It was, I guess it was. They just felt like it was too much for him to start today, and Donnie Kelly was saying he was scheduled for an off day anyways. So, but I just thought that was a little bit. I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit not too much strange, but I don't know. What do you guys think about this deal? Tracy, I'm going to start with you.
Not scared about it, I'll tell you that. I think that his bat will come around. He has had zero learning curve at every level except for this one. He hit the ball the first at bat, and then he had a small little schneid there, and then he got another hit. A little chipper down the third and ran it out. So I think it's great. We're going to see what this kid's potential is.
It'll be worth it. Kid's going to be a stud, Mike Trout equivalent. I agree. And, here's the thing. He's a 19-year-old. He's married. He doesn't talk like he's a 19-year-old. If you've heard of the interviews, you'd swear this guy's been in the major leagues for 12 years. I mean, he just has that. He carries himself he's just
swagger.
Yeah. Mac, what do you think of the deal, buddy?
I was shocked, to be honest with you. From a
shocked in a good way, shocked in a bad way.
Both. Okay. And the reason I say that is because I think it's a very smart move to wrap this guy up. Me and Ed talked about it earlier. I think they got a good deal out of this, from the prospect. I know he was like a 7th or 8th pick. I can't remember, but but I think they got a steal out of it. The shock part of me is they don't do this. They just had a chance to do this with Skeens, and they didn't do it. Okay, so I wish they could have done something similar that way. But again, this guy's a little less of a prospect than Skeens obviously was. He was a sure thing. This kid's more of a supposed to be, not a is guy.
If I may jump in,
you may.
If I may jump in, thank you, I appreciate that. Good franchises, good baseball franchises would have signed both of these guys.
Yes.
Okay. Good baseball franchises that you know what, people want to criticize, and I'm still not sold. I'm sorry, I'm still not sold on the Dog and Pony show. If good franchises would have had Skeens inked, would have had Connor Griffin inked, would have gotten more bats than Lau and O'Hearn, would have maybe added 2 more bats to the and that's what good franchises do. You cannot be in the middle. You cannot be in 20 something in payroll. You can't in the major leagues. You can't. You gotta be like 15 or more in payroll in order to win. Period. Okay, Go ahead. You had your hand raised.
I did. As much as we bang on the Pirates, and they deserve it, believe me, this is their second $100 million contract, and this is the most money they've ever given, $140 million. They dangled all that money in front of a 19-year-old. It was kind of a brilliant move. Think about it. He's 19. Who's going to turn down $140 million?
Well,
it's kind of a brilliant move by the Pirates, because play it out over time, you're a little over $14 million a year, which if the kid turns out, like Justin said, and all reports are he's number one prospect to Mike Trout, that's a steal.
Well, here's the other thing. He could totally suck from here on out. He's still going to get $140 million.
Could, but I mean, think about what they did. They got a 19-year-old to sign a contract, which is unheard of in baseball.
Yeah. No, my point is who would pass that up? Who would pass that up?
But you're 19.
Exactly.
What was Dave Justice contract?
What's that?
Dave Justice for the Braves. He was 19. What was his contract? Anywhere near that?
I don't know if they signed him right away.
I don't think
baseball is so weird with how they do contracts and stuff. So it's very odd. But I think they got a steal.
Yeah.
As much as we bang on them, and they deserve all of it, I think this was borderline brilliant on their part.
All right, let's real quick rapid fire. Paul Skeens likely to win another Cy Young. You guys think he will?
Yeah, he's 2-1 right now. If he had an outfield, he'd be 3-0.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I still worry about the bullpen volatility. I still worry about run support. And I just hope that he can stay healthy as well. That's another thing.
Well, he has far better than he had last year, and he won it last year. So
Justin says
yes. Okay.
Alan
Triola injury. What's that? Alan Prow what?
He hates Aaron Boone as a manager. Worst baseball manager in the history of baseball.
Okay. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
Triola sucks. He can't hit. He's got a patellar tendon injury. Rounding the base against the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, is enough. You know what this is? This is Key Brian Hayes 2.0. Is Jared Triola. That's exactly what it is. You got some guys that could step in. Billy Cook, Nick York, Nick Gonzalez. I think Nick Gonzalez is your guy. I mean, York I know started the third base immediately following the injury, but I think Gonzalez is your guy at that. So,
yeah.
All right, let's talk Little Riverhounds real quick. Unbeaten across 4 competitions. Ed, what do you think? I mean, what do you think? What do you think about their? I think they've had.
All I know is when we saw them live in the first game we covered, they played 52 minutes, 53 minutes of championship soccer or football, as you would wish. They looked very good. Yeah. And they look like a team that can strike from anywhere, which they didn't really do that last year, but they didn't have the type of player to do it either. Bassett's really good. I don't want Colorado Rapids let him go. I mean, his brother played for the national team. So I think they're coming along. I mean, a huge draw in Detroit. That's a game last year under Bob. They would lose.
Right.
They would lose 1-0. Yeah. I mean, I think they look good, Billy. I think it's a positive for them. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We don't mean to, exclude you guys from the talk. I mean, but we just know you guys don't know shit about soccer. Let's just be honest.
The ball is round, Bill. The ball is round.
Yeah. I mean, Ed and I cover the team. We write for the team. So, I mean, we
condolences to both of you.
Right.
So, all right. Hey,
nice.
Just next week we might have a guest on. Just putting that out there. We until we confirm it. We won't put it out. But and when we get it confirmed, we'll put it out. You're going to want to tune into that next week. So, any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up?
I don't like Triola. I think that Gonzalez the third, and I think Magnum should be in our center field.
I know Jake Magnum's amazing. I like him.
I think Will Howard's not very good. Everybody has to give a parting shot. Go ahead, Mac.
Al on the Prowl, always a great show. Thanks, Al on the Prowl, and you always have some good comments, Al on the Prowl. You do a nice job with that. So,
Mac, what's your parting shot?
Good night, Phil. Let's go Pens.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like I said, we'll have news on the guests next week. Yep. Stay tuned for that. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Talk to you next week.